Houston, this is Mars 1. We have a problem. Over. Mars 1, this is Houston. We read you. What's the problem? Over. Houston, we have a faulty male relevance connector. Please advise. Over. Mars 1, this is Houston. This one's easy. Simply remove and discard the male piece. It was meant to be disposable anyway. Houston out. Friends, this is Archangel. Males are the reason that we are where we are with male devaluation and disposal. Yet, many have basically asked, well, if we are so female elevating and worshipping, then why haven't we handed the reins of the world and everything over to women? Why don't women visibly run everything in the world? Yeah, there, you see, males holding back females proves chauvinism and male oppression. Well, holy guacamole, it really is a good old boys club, a patriarchy that is ravaging this planet, just like the gynocentric hordes preach. Then these folks grab the phone book to find the nearest feminist recruiting station. This is essentially the argument made by many a gynocentrist, that males are still in visible positions of authority around the world, that they still exhibit chauvinism, and they still try to keep women confined to lesser roles, such as secretaries or homemakers, and that many males still seek female subservience. So why would any male seek to hold any female back from anything? Oh, you silly little chipmunks. You are still buying into the illusion of male authority. The reality behind the curtain is that females are in fact elevated and worshipped, and males are devalued and disposed of. Moreover, females allow infantilization to elicit elevation and worship. Thus, males must hold back females from life's hardships like toil or danger. However, to see through the illusion and understand male motivations, you must understand this. In a place where female beauty is the be-all, end-all, where mothers are touted as the holiest of holies, and the modern female is boasted as being able to do everything, thus the answer to the appearance of male dominance, the reasoning behind the male repression of females that patriarchy is charged with, the reason any male desires to hold females back from complete equality or public authority is quite elementary. Males don't tyrannize females because they think them inferior, but rather males seek to contain females because males simply want to have relevance to females. The truth is that many males have tried to limit and restrain females throughout history in order to serve them. Yep. Males seek to confine females in order to serve them and have relevance to them. Huh? Okay, so a speed bump is merely a hunk of coagulated asphalt that has no visibility nor relevance until it is placed in the path of others. If the speed bump did not place itself before the car would never acknowledge the speed bump. Likewise, if males did not place themselves in females' path, females would likely not even acknowledge males. So males understand that if they do not bottleneck something that females need, which would compel females to interact with males, then these Y-chromosomed speed bumps would not be acknowledged at all, because females really do not like or desire interaction with these hairy knuckle-dragging rapists and plunderers. Okay, activity time, class. Boom! Suddenly, you find yourself in a human male body. Oh, terribly sorry for your luck. Nope, sorry. No returns, no exchanges. Enjoy. However, you will ultimately discover a few little nuggets of joy. That yes, perhaps you may be more physically capable than females, yet you are less valuable because you eventually come to observe males are reproductively and aesthetically inferior to females, meaning that females are central to reproduction and they are more pleasing to look at. Well, gee, what now? You're less valuable and the less attractive of the human sexes. So really, do you imagine that the more value-rich, beautiful sex is going to seek you out and pander to you? That is not how the game is set up. The world works like this. The value-deficient are made to seek out the value-rich, soliciting and begging them for crumbs. Hence, males, realizing that they are the value deficient, they do the only thing they can. They seek out and solicit the superior, value-rich female for everything. And this is where we are. Males seek out females for reproduction. They seek out females for beauty, attention, affection, and, at the end of the day, males seek out females for salvation from their wretched state as ugly, hairy, lesser value creatures. We are at the point now where female agenda is world domination, but many males desire to hold them back, resisting them not because they think females are inferior. Males serve females. Everything is done for female welfare. We are a gynocentric species after all. But rather, conservative or religious males resist females shedding the classic homemaker roles because males want to have some relevance. They want to bottleneck something that will compel females to depend on them just as they depend on females for reproduction and salvation. So males supposedly oppress females into the homemaker role so that they can run governments or corporations on behalf of feminine kind. Deep down, they merely want females to need them just as much as they so utterly need females. This is the story of males repressing females throughout history. The lesser value male simply desires relevance, comparable to the value-rich female in this cruel, chaotic existence. Males have this nagging suspicion that if females can run corporations and the government and the heavy machinery and they pop out offspring, then what good are males? Males really have no significance in existence, other than servants to the uteruses holding all the human value cards. If females are the be-all end-all and can do everything just like everybody believes, then all human worth, all value, all relevance lies with females, and males are simply leftover remnants of Homo sapiens' vestigial tale. We are fed male devaluing propaganda, which makes people think that males are simply superfluous fart machines. Because, well, observe the state of human male worth that technology has left us with. We now have guns and all manner of weaponry which will fly itself to the targets, and this displaces male roles as soldiers and protectors. Food is cultivated, cooked, and delivered to us. No need for the male hunter-killer. We have all manner of machinery and robotics that are far outpacing male labor in many areas of manufacture. More and more is being outsourced to computers rather than males, and so male brilliance and creativity stagnates as we cease critical thinking and thus allow electronics to run our lives instead. We have artificial phallic facsimiles that bring females all the sexual fun with none of the attitude or premature ejaculation of actual males. We have governing bodies that elevate and support females without requiring females to make males a sandwich. In fact, without needing males in the picture at all. From the male devaluing propaganda point of view, males really are obsolete in the minds of most people. We see ourselves as doing males a favor by even allowing these useless eaters to exist at all, since they do nothing but take up space and pollute the environment with their vulgar appearance and pungent odors. Males are deemed non-essential, expendable personnel, even though males built the world and male life has been sacrificed daily to keep this pathetic rock spinning. And still the male devaluing propaganda states that males are inferior and not needed anymore by the superior female citizenry. It is no wonder then that you see these pathetic simpering manginas playing doormats for females simply so the female will entertain his presence and acknowledge his existence. So, even though males, deep down in their soul, worship, service, and depend upon the female for their very identity and personhood, meanwhile, outwardly, males try to deny females positions of higher authority because males want to create relevance. They want to be needed by feminine kind in order to continue receiving validation from the superior value human sex. This is the devious male agenda. Males do not hold women back because they are bigoted and chauvinistic. The irony is that the very males who worship females also simultaneously seek to hold them back in order to cause females to need them, which gives these males significance, visibility. Males reason that if they are needed, they become less expendable compared to the average grunting, burping worker drone in this male-discarding existence. Traditional-minded males have, by and large, preferred to hold women back from public involvement and stymie their equality, not because they believe females are subservient, but because males want to keep their fantasy alive. The fantasy that they are needed, that females look up to them, that they actually have value even remotely comparable to females. Males who believe in the good old days indeed wish to squeeze females back into the home in order to keep alive the fantasies of males having value and purpose. If males stymie and infantilize females, then they are needed to protect these fragile flower petals. And so they are protectors of the weak and warriors against evil-doing man-apes. Understand that males actually do feel inferior to and thus dependent upon the baby-making female, and so they want to persuade females into roles where females also depend on males. Because when one depends on another, there is need, and where there is need, there is much value placed upon that which is needed. Males simply want value. If they are needed, they have value. In this reality, it is widely advertised that females dispense value. So, males either try to win more worth from females by being compliant, diaper bag carrying, punching bag whipping boy doormats for the wife and general female populace, or males will try and take value from the value-rich female by being bullies and making them wear head veils, or dissuading them from education or skill development, which would lead to female independence. And all of this is done by males in order to cause female dependency upon males. Males want the value-rich Homo sapien class to need them and to depend upon them and to come to them for barter. All the while, the male is receiving attention, validation, and ego boosting from the interactions he receives from the superior value human that he manipulates into depending upon him. So, yes, some males have been bullies to females throughout history because they actually feel inferior to the value-rich female and so seek to control that which they envy. If males could see the beauty, the brilliance, and value in themselves, they would have no need to restrain or stymie anyone else. However, because of the mechanics of this three-dimensional existence, we are trained to look outside of ourselves for validation. We look outside of our being for others to bestow worth upon us. And so, under this paradigm, where we all look outside ourselves for worth, and thus we live in a place where collective beliefs and opinions form our collective reality, thus, we have come to this place where we elevate females and devalue males, and in this civilization of male devaluation, males have developed this silly little fantasy that they have worth and relevance, that they and their welfare are cared about. So male decisions and actions reflect their desire to keep the tall tale of male value alive. And so, in order to keep this fantasy alive, males need females to be childlike and fragile. They want to infantilize females to prop up their self-image as strong, moral, upright white knights sent to protect the delicate little angels, who they believe are the only living symbols of love in this hostile world of male debauchery. It is males who seek to infantilize females. Females have learned to use infantilization to their advantage, but it is males who desperately need to infantilize females to keep alive their fantasy of being valued and needed by these females. Males want relevance commensurate with that of females, so males labor furiously to infantilize females into pure, fragile little angel bunnies in order to protect them, and thus he justifies his existence. Moreover, males infantilize females, then protect them in order to prove worth and capability to the rest of the pack, to show everyone how strong he is, how functional and thus important he is, and that he can take the moral high ground by enduring or walking away from any abuse a female dishes out, which proves to the world that he is the bigger person above animal behaviors, and so he can be trusted with power and be a leader in chaotic situations. Males infantilizing females in order to protect them is one way that males try to increase their value and importance in their own eyes and the eyes of the community. Believe it or not, infantilization is a value-improving tactic enacted by males seeking recourse to their value-deficient state because they lack a uterus. That bears repeating. Infantilization is a value-improving tactic enacted by males seeking recourse to their value-deficient state. Then, in addition to infantilization of females in order to elevate, protect, and worship them, males also wholeheartedly slander the male sex at large in order to make themselves look more appealing compared to the other males. Males absolutely spread male devaluation in order to paint other males as demons that he, one of the few good ones, will fight off in order to keep these virtuous, value-rich, fragile women children safe, and this proves his value and worth. Chivalry, white knighting, misandry. Males enact all of these biases to bolster their self-images as protectors, which gives them validity in this hostile world that no longer needs or wants them. You see, humans assume that since females have uteruses and mammaries, and since such females with uteruses and mammaries have, throughout history, demonstrated the ability to squeeze out offspring, that this must be their purpose. And so if females are fulfilling, or merely have the potential to fulfill this purpose, thus they have the utmost value and should be protected, above all else. Well, okay. Then, humans figure that since males are physically larger and more muscular, and males have, throughout history, demonstrated the ability to move things, to hunt and protect, that this must be males' purpose, to labor and protect. Thus, it is reasoned that if they labor for females and protect them, then they are fulfilling their purpose, and this would give them worth as well. Yet, the inequity is in the flow of value. All worth flows to females, away from males. Furthermore, female worth lies merely in potential, even in the absence of action. Male worth only lies in action, not inert procreative potential. Males are required to do, to labor, protect, and provide in order to have any significance at all. This is how we arrive at a culture that worships females for being and only recognizes males for doing. The problem is, there is still inequity. Males are still expendable in the face of female plumbing, which causes their expanded role in human reproduction. This all means that when it comes down to one life vest and a decision between a male and a female, no matter how laborious and protective he is, the male is still the one discarded during such knee-jerk decisions of mortal consequence. Because of female plumbing, because of the juggernaut of male devaluing propaganda in a male discarding world, because of all this, males are losing relevance and hemorrhaging value by the gallon in today's toxic gynocentric world. Males are mocked, slandered, and abused in every way possible, everywhere you turn, and males feel naturally inferior to females because they do not gestate life. Males want relevance. They want value. They want someone to care about them. Well, nobody cares about them. So they figure the next best thing is fantasy. If they can make people need them and depend upon them, this will kind of be like people caring about them. At least someone will willingly interact with them. So, males turn to staunch traditionalism or conservatism, where females allow themselves to be limited and infantilized so that males can continue playing their fantasy role of big, strong white knight that the value superior females look up to and care for. And all of this, all of the fantasy and role-playing, all the duress of constricting females to homemaker roles, is ultimately because males want to bolster their lack of value. Males want to receive outside worth and validation, and males want to gloss over and ignore their willing participation as disposable utilities in a gynocentric game. Males elevate female worth and degrade male worth. It is males who spread misandry and male devaluation. Males who want to believe in females as divine angels, as benevolent do-gooders, as the pinnacle of beauty, a grand prize that they might attain if they toil or work hard enough. You see, in a way, males have purposefully tried to stymie female equality in order to keep their fantasies alive. And this explains most female oppressive male chauvinism enacted throughout history. Bullying was done by males not because males feel supremacy over females, but because he actually feels inferior, and so some males may seek to stymie, even mistreat females in order to bolster his own inner demons of worthlessness. On the flip side of the coin, males may sit on their hands and endure female abuse for the same reason: image boosting. This bolsters their identity as important protectors of the exalted. And, as stated earlier, males enduring female mistreatment is a twisted ego booster as well, since he is strong physically as well as intellectually tough for not succumbing to the temper tantrums of these women infants, but rather standing fast as a punching bag. He protects womenfolk from everything, including their own actions. Then he pats himself on the back for having purpose and worth. Female oppression and mistreatment by males is highly exaggerated and propagandized, and in fact, there are infinitely more males abused by females. However, any male that mistreats females does so not because they hate females, but because 1. They have been mistreated by females, and 2. They hate themselves. They detest their feelings of worthlessness. All this misogyny or female oppression talk is just like rape culture or the female victim narrative of society. They are simply trendy catchphrases, generously peppered throughout our daily speech in order to keep public attention forever and always on females. Females being the completely innocent victims of wanton repression and abuse by males is purposefully exaggerated and propagandized today. But regarding the handful of legitimate cases throughout history, this is why male abuse of female occurs. As a result of reproductive biology, males are made to feel inferior to females, and so they invoke their one asset, strength, in order to bully that which they envy. There it is. That's the explanation for chauvinism. In reality, there are no male misogynists. There are only males who feel lesser in value to females and so take out their anger over their own shortcomings on the beings they actually see as better than themselves. It is a story as old as time. The persecuting of one by another because of jealousy, meaning the aggressor somehow feels lesser than those that they persecute. In an existence where the male is devalued and expendable, males have never really felt worth, and they have always seen females as more valuable than themselves. Males simply handle this self-loathing and self-imposed devaluation in different ways. Some try to control and restrain females. Others simply roll over like puppies and serve mama, like placating little butlers and obedient bodyguards. You see, all male-female interactions are handicapped from the start. The playing field is unfairly slanted before the game even begins. Males approach females from a place of inferiority, a place of need and dependency upon her. No matter how foul-mouthed bad boy chest-thumpy he acts, no matter how conservative he appears to be, or how many "a woman's place is in the home" tattoos that he has, because of biology, males have always started with a disadvantage, for on some subconscious level, males feel themselves inferior to females, all females. The reality is that males desire females, and they generously admit this. Females need males, and they vehemently deny this. Approaching another from a position of need places you in the diminutive role and places the power in the other person's hands. Until males find their value and worth independent of any female, they will never enjoy healthy interactions with anyone else, because they will be operating either from a point of envy and jealousy, which will lead to control and abuse, or they will operate from a place of needy codependency, where they will serve and placate the breasted party just to get some acknowledgement and validation as a band-aid on their failing self-worth. You can see how much males truly loathe themselves because you can observe some form of these beliefs and behaviors of inferiority in nearly every male on the planet when they interact with the female sex, whom they feel substandard to. Males need to walk away from females entirely to find their own worth and to compel females to better themselves. Males will never find empowerment or value while interacting with females. The truth is, males have more relevance, more value, more worth than they could possibly understand. Gentlemen, you do not have to stymie females from anything or generate a bottleneck in order to create relevance. All you need to do is walk away. If males simply walked away from females, this would empower males, and females would check themselves and most likely come crawling to males in order to get acknowledgement. Turnabout is fair play, right? Good for the goose, good for the gander. If males walked away from females and society, we would see collapse and chaos when it comes to the maintenance and continued functions of civilizations of this very planet, because males are the only relevance. And we would quickly learn how much we all depend on male toil and brilliance if males suddenly dropped their yokes and walked away. Males, all you need to do to create relevance and prove your infinite worth to the world is to walk away from it and watch it come begging you for acknowledgement. There we are, the machinations of supposed patriarchal oppression and chauvinism explained. Males seek to hold females back from equality or authority in order to serve them. Now, there are a handful of males that have figured females out and realized that letting females take the official reins would be like giving a toddler a machine gun. We infantilize females in order to protect them, so females are practiced at being impetulant toddlers who throw temper tantrums. The female collective is not practiced at being competent adults that seek the welfare of the whole tribe, rather than vaginas seeking the welfare of vaginas. Meaning that females are used to being coddled and taken care of, while males are used to being strong and doing everything on their own. Thus, handing over the world, governments and corporations to females could end up proving disastrous at best. Now, perhaps many a male in days gone by had figured out females' game and did not put up with the abuse or usury, yet all we are told is that the darling fragile females have been oppressed by a bunch of chauvinistic woman-beating males throughout history. Because this story feeds the female victim narrative, which funnels further sympathy and thus power to females. So we say that males throughout history were woman beaters and tyrants, rather than see these males as keeping zealous, insatiable, entitled, hypergamous infant toddlers under control for the good of society. Yes, there have been some cruel male jerks throughout time who have used their physical size for ill in order to trespass upon diminutive humans, including females. Just as there have been cruel female jerks throughout history who have used manipulation for ill purposes in order to trespass upon weak-minded humans, including males. Both sexes are guilty of using their physiology and biology for ill intent. Yet one thing is sure, all we hear is female elevation and victimization and male devaluation and criminality. We devalue males and discard of them because males allow this, and males allowing this acknowledges their worship and subjugation to females. Chauvinism is simply window dressing, hiding male devaluation, since most males seek to hold females back from complete equality and or societal authority because they want to bottleneck something that will cause females to need males, and thus give males relevance to females. Males are not chauvinistic because they think themselves superior. In a world where females hold all the worth and relevance of the Homo sapien species. Thus, males want a place where they have value, whether it be government, military, or on the construction site. Males want females to be restricted from their clubhouse, not because they hate females, but because they do not want the value-rich females to invade yet another male place, where males once again have to police their behaviors and be constantly reminded of how superior females are and how disgusting males are. Males want a space where they can pretend that they have more worth. And since males only have physical strength to boast, thus they have used this physical presence to affect their environment, and so taken governments and formed a military, and have claimed all manner of physical laboring as male space that females should not be allowed. So, here is one final epiphany. Just as some males bully females because they feel inferior to them, females mistreat and abuse males for the same reason: envy. Though consciously, females actually do feel superior to males, on some subconscious level, females envy males, their strength, their independence, their creativity and genius, their assertive, cool-headed logic and reason, their take charge, get it done mentality, their stoicism in emergencies, their compassion and their warmth. And all this, on some level, causes females to envy males. And so they antagonize that which causes them jealousy. Well, that's one of the downsides of infantilization. Females are allowed to be emotional and coddled. Thus, they have not had to develop the strength or grit that males have. And they envy males for all of this, and so much more. The grass is always greener, right? So both sexes envy characteristics and traits of the other. Yet, in an existence where physical force gets things done, thus males have appeared to dominate. When you look really close, it is females who manipulate and control males who appear to dominate females. So we have a hostile existence where we are separate from everything in our environment, and hence we are made to use everything for self-enrichment. Chief among these imperatives is survival and competition for finite resource. And if living in such a hostile environment were not enough, we are split into polarities, and these two polarities spend their days mistreating, abusing, and suspecting the other sex of inadequacy and debauchery, and projecting flaws onto the opposite sex. So much pain and suffering, animosity and abuse between the sexes. It brings up a deeper question than all of these things. What the hell kind of existence is this? My friends, stand with me, live free.